everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, February 23rd. We just have one meeting to tell you about today, and it's at 1:30 this afternoon, and it's the United Finance Committee meeting, and it is virtual, so you can follow along at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Now, on our show today, I sat down with Catherine Freshley, and she is here on behalf of the El Toro Water District, and just talks a lot about all the different things that they're going through and the way that the seniors here in the village have been saving water, so good job. All right, let's go ahead and give you our vaccination information that we normally do, starting with our hotline, which you can call at 949-594-2533. However, we ask that you go to the Laguna Woods Village alerts.com website first. There we have an FAQ page where you can look up your question, and hopefully the answer is there. But if not, you can always call the hotline. Do not call resident services. If you would like to be vaccinated at Soka University or Disneyland, we ask that you register at othina.com, and for more information, you can go to occovid19.ochealthinfo.com. And then if you are a Kaiser Permanente member, you can call their hotline, which is 833-574-2273, or go to their website, which is kp.org/COVID vaccine. You will click on Make an Appointment, and you can do so if you are 75 and over. And if you are 65 to 74, they will be contacting you shortly. All right, our weather is looking quite nice. We are still hanging on to some warm weather, although it's going to cool down over the course of the next few days and as we head into the weekend. Today we are looking at partly sunny with warm temperatures of 75-48. Sunny tomorrow, 70-53. Nice on Thursday, 69-49. Friday, 71-46. And then Saturday we begin a little partly cloudy, 67-53. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:26. It's nice to have it nice and sunny when you wake up. And sunset will be at 5:43. And email Vandy Grift. Thank you so much for sending in this adorable succulent with a cute little village written on a rock. I appreciate you sending them that photo. And if you have something that you would like to share of landscape here in the village or someplace around Orange County, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we return, we will have the El Toro Water District. Stay tuned.
My name is Angela. I'm 51 years old, and I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. Before the surgery, I was struggling to breathe. I was missing out a lot on playing with my son. I decided to go to Hoag from Nevada to have my mitral valve repair because the surgeons there are excellent.
My personal approach to patient care is really taking care of a patient as if they were a member of my family.
After the surgery, I can chase him and run around and play with him as much as he wants. It's like a miracle. It's like this patient made it through the toughest time in their life, and it's an awesome feeling.
The feeling to see these patients recover, especially when they're critically ill like that, it's just the best feeling in the world.
We wanted this to be one of the top cardiovascular centers in the region, the state, the nation, and to be recognized for that. We've achieved that.
If I had to go back and make the same choice, I would choose Hoag again. They treated me like family. This changed my life, and now I get to be with my son.
Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
Do you buy gold?
Yes, we do.
Do you buy diamond rings?
We do.
Do you buy watches?
We do.
Do you buy silver?
We do.
Do you buy these?
Yes, we do.
Gold, diamonds, jewelry, or sterling silver. The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest makes it easy to get top dollar for your treasures. No appointment necessary. Simply come in and walk out with money for your valuables.
Whether it's one ring or an entire estate,
We buy it all.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Catherine Freshley, who is here on behalf of the El Toro Water District. And I hear you have someone in the background. How are you?
Yes, I am. And yes, I do. And that's my dog, Leah. She's not even in the room, but she's observing somebody out on the putting green. So.
Well, we will hear that, I think, periodically. But that's okay. That's what we're all used to these days from working out of our homes. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Surviving. It's been a challenge this past year. But you know, we're all living through it, and that's all we can do. You know?
Exactly. And like we said off camera, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. So light at the end of the tunnel. So we're looking better and better. Well, in regards to water, I mean, I've been in California my whole life, but I do hear, I mean, for us here in California, we seem to be doing okay with water, but in other places, not so easily sometimes. So can you kind of give us a history of sort of how our water began here in California?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to cover, and the reason I selected this topic was that, you know, I moved here to California about 30 years ago. And for me, it was quite a surprise. You know, I grew up in the Midwest in Indiana, and water there was plentiful. In fact, we always had to worry about floods in the spring, you know, with the snow melting and everything. And it was, you know, and I remember back, I think it was during the 70s, listening to NPR one morning, and where they had a representative from the West talking about the challenges that they had in Congress of getting people to recognize the importance of because at that time they're getting ready to build the Oroville Reservoir, or they're starting to build reservoirs. And he explained, he said, you know, in the East, we build dams and things like this to prevent flooding. But in California, you know, you basically, the dams and everything are built here in the West because you only have water maybe 6 months of the year, and you have to store the water for future use. Mm-hmm. At the time it triggered, I thought, wow, that's really interesting, the difference in the requirements. And so that really influences you how you operate.
Right.
Because you need to understand that difference. And that's the situation that we have here in Orange County, and particularly here in South County, because we really don't have any, for El Toro, we don't have any water. We don't have an aquifer or anything like this. Central and Northern Orange County, you know, Fullerton and Anaheim, and water aquifer. In fact, if you think about it, when you travel along the Santa Ana River, and you see where they've built ways to capture water, the purpose for that is to recharge the aquifer, so that when we have a rainstorm or something like this, or the water's coming down out of the mountains, we capture it. And in fact, Anaheim, if you spend any time driving around, they got a few separate reservoirs that they use. The whole purpose is to take the water and store it, and in fact to recharge the aquifers, because it percolates then down into the aquifer.
Right.
And that was the whole basic, you know, so that's absolutely critical to the whole story of ensuring that we have water. Now, what happened here in El Toro? El Toro Water District was established in 1960 by some gentlemen. They met, a group of farmers, and they met at the Raymond Senior House, had their house around the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And they basically set up and established and said, you know, we need to ensure that we have water on a more reliable basis, because at that point they were getting their water from wells. Mm-hmm. And those of us, that from the Midwest, I mean, we've had situations where the water ran out of water with the well. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when we got the water, particularly in some areas, you pumped it with a pump handle to get it, and you carried it into the house. And that shows how old I am at this point. Okay. And so they organized themselves into a water district. And it had 125 people. That was the service area. But also what they did is they became then a constituent member of the Municipal Water District of Orange County, MODOC. Mm-hmm. And MODOC represents all of the water districts in Orange County, and actually represents then on MET, as well as some of the older cities also have representations on MET, which is the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California.
Right, right.
And people need to understand that all of our water, it comes from the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. whether it's coming from the Sierras through the California aqueduct, or it's coming from the Colorado River through the aqueduct from Colorado River. So these were the, some of the issues. One of the things that the founders did, though, that was very, back in 1967, they recognized, if we're going to have adequate potable water, we need to have a reservoir, at least we could store it. And so in Mission Viejo, in 1967, they built this large reservoir, 200, it holds 2,750,000 gallons of water. And that's the largest potable water reservoir in the county. Mm-hmm. And it was built by El Toro Water District then in 1967. Now it's we cover it, so it's covered. So we do store our potable water there, but we also share it with the Santa Margarita Water District. We control half of it, and they share in the cost of that reservoir. California, though, is recognized by people living here. We have drought cycles, and now, and we got records going back to 1841. And and the current one. Most of us, many of us now have experienced the one from 2011 to 2019, where that really has driven us into the awareness of the amount of our water. I mean, during that period, we all had to learn how to conserve. Right now, the goal for the state ultimately is to get us down to 55 gallons per person per day.
Yes.
We're running, a bit higher than that. And actually here in the village, we're doing a good job, but it's still compared to, for example, you'd say, wow, that's quite a reduction. Well, let's recognize, in Israel, and I was quite surprised, I was sitting in a lecture, and Israel, because they get most of their water from desalinization, they limit their residents to 25 gallons per day.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so that's a big difference. But it is so critical for all of us to recognize the importance and for us to conserve. And let's recognize now what happened in the last 9 years of the site. You can see from that slide, how over a period of time, it gets worse and then it gets better. And we did have quite a bit of rainfall in the period of 2019. And so we got to a point where we were no longer in drought condition. Now we're sliding back. And this is going to be critical going forward. The precipitation that we have comes from California. The government sends us data on a monthly basis of the status of how much water is available or going to be available, anticipated by the Snowpack. Right. And right now, water originates Snowpack in the northern northern California, in the Sierras, and in the southern Sierras, and then also from Colorado. And I think that's an important factor, because this was one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about it, is that, we get about 40% of our water, or about 45% from Northern California, and about 40% of it from the Colorado River, or combined. I mean, to give us the level we need. And when you take a look at that, say, everybody, you at the Central Valley, they need that water too. So water issues in California have been a historic issue, and negotiation takes place as to how much water is going to be coming to us in Southern California, how much is going to go over, over toward the coast, how much is going to be used in the imagine the discussion take place, and it has to be done cooperatively, because none of us can stand alone. And the same is true with Colorado. From the Colorado Basin, we get the snow from Utah, Wyoming, the western half of Colorado, and that has to be shared then right now with Arizona, parts of New Mexico, and here in California. And in the last 10 years, I think it is, that the federal government reached an agreement with Mexico that 10% of the Colorado flow has to go to Mexico.
Oh, boy.
Because there was a period there where we were using all the water and northern Mexico wasn't getting any.
Oh.
So this was the complexities involved in ensuring that we have the water we need. That's why a lot of people spend a lot of time working on trying to resolve these issues and balance the needs for everybody so that we have the water that is necessary for us to survive here. And that's really the fundamental challenge, Now within here ourselves, we have, because Metropolitan has made a great investment over the last couple decades. They have built like the Diamond Valley Reservoir, that big reservoir. They built that purposefully because that would allow us, if we had a break in the California aqueduct or from Colorado River, we have in that one area enough storage that would get us maybe the Southern California area, because we serve 20 million people. That's who they're trying to serve. Enough water to serve at least 6 months until we can repair the breaks to get the flow back. And so MoDOC, or not MoDOC, but the Metropolitan has invested heavily in the reservoirs. And we got a slide there that shows up and down the state and all the different reservoirs where we have created to store the water.
Right.
As I mentioned in the beginning, in the West, you've got to save the water when it's available if you're going to have it when you need it. And that's the fundamental thing with water here in the West.
Right. So, and our population isn't getting any smaller. It's just getting larger because, people move in and out of California, but I think a lot of people still want to live in California. So that is definitely a concern. Whatever happened to the desalinization plants? Are they still in operation or moving towards that?
Well, the only desalinization plant here in Southern California that's operating is in San Diego. That one was built. We're still in a lot of discussion as to whether Poseidon's going to be built in Huntington Beach. Now, you've got also a program, the South Coast Water District is also in the process of at Doheny Beach of building a smaller desalinization plant that would be good for about between 2.5 and 5 million gallons a day. Okay, so that's underway, but there's still a lot of discussion on it. And desalinizing water is very expensive.
Right.
It takes a lot of electricity.
Exactly.
And here we are as a state moving to a situation where we don't have the kind of weather that you see in Texas, but take a look at what happens when you don't have reliable energy. And if you can imagine then if we were getting all our water by desalinizing, and then all of a sudden you don't have the electricity to drive the plant, you're without water.
Exactly.
And this kind of balancing these needs is absolutely critical to our livelihood. We've learned to balance it. Not only do we need water, but we also need electricity. And the basis, our whole society is set on the basis of having continuous electricity.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think the projections will be for the next, couple of years in our water?
Well, because we get 17% of our water we recycle, so that has really helped us. Our demand has dropped. We were up at 11,000 acre feet at one point. We're down to about 7,000 acre feet. Okay. So we've done a lot of conserving, and because we recycle, that has been really beneficial to us. Now, what's our situation going forward? Well, right now it looks like we possibly are moving into a drought situation. We talked earlier about some of the numbers, and you could see what the numbers are. You could see that part of the state is moving into a drought situation, and so until we get past that, we don't know. All we can do is conserve and do the best we can at this point. And until we get that point, it's a guess. You're good. If we atmospheric rivers coming through, so we may get some rain. But if you can't capture it, it's only good at the time it comes. And
Right.
this is where the real difficulty is, and this is one of the challenges now we're facing with climate change, is that if our precipitation, instead of coming as a form of snow, which was the basis for how our water system was established, and we get rain, well, we're not set to capture rain. We don't have enough dams to save the rain.
Right.
Because with the snowpack, that's a natural way of conserving water.
Right.
If you don't have the snowpack, you don't have the water.
Yeah, no, this is true. Well, we certainly hope that we get more snow in the mountains. I mean, we still have a ways to go before, it's going to get too sunshiny here. But boy, we need to pray for some snow here in the next few months.
That's exactly what we want. If we can get the snow, then we'll have the water. If we don't get the snow and it comes as rain, then we're going to have, it's going to be far more challenging for us. And right now, there's an awful lot of discussion within the industry. Then, and should we be building more reservoirs? And if so, where do you put them?
Right.
And, the length of time it takes to build a reservoir.
Right.
So, so people are really looking at different ways of not only conserving water, but also capturing water when it comes.
Exactly.
Desalination is an approach, but it's expensive. The difference in cost for us, if we have to rely on desalinated water, the cost of desalinated water is $2,200 per acre foot desalination, and we get our water right now for about $1,100.
Oh yeah, that would be very costly. But it's always good to look into it just to see what the alternatives are, and then of course you guys always have your backup plans and research. So we appreciate the information. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Well, I hope this was helpful. I hope it helped people get a little better understanding of the importance of what it takes to get water, so that when you turn the faucet on, good, clean water that's drinkable comes out.
Yep.
Reliably.
Yes. Yeah, really. Thank you again.
Okay. You're welcome, Lisa. Nice to talk with you.
You too.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll be right back after this.
If you truly want to make a difference, there's no better way than a career in California water, a dynamic, essential industry at a critical turning point.
Water is absolutely the most crucial thing hitting our Central Valley and our state.
It's work that's so essential that people want to stick with it if they're in it.
It will be life-changing, not only for yourself, but for generations to come.
Through times of drought, aging infrastructure, and a growing population, the water leaders of tomorrow will seek innovative solutions to unprecedented challenges, helping protect California's most vital resource.
We have to broaden our network so that we can bring all the bright minds together to solve a problem that has to be solved.
It's a valuable resource. We need to protect it, and we always need people to do that.
The water business isn't just about delivering water, moving it from point A to point B. A new wave of opportunities are emerging, from working in the field to a water quality lab, shaping policy in a boardroom to customer service and human resources, tackling complex regulations, or leveraging technology for critical improvements in water efficiency and sustainability.
It's not just building pipes and pump stations anymore.
We need engineers, we need those in the hard sciences, we need those in the soft sciences, people that understand law, understand public policy.
You need the accountants, you need the rate setters.
We need all types and all hands on deck.
There's nothing more central to California's future than carrying on the water industry's mission.
It's a tremendous responsibility we have in delivering that water resource that you can't live without.
If you really want to make an impact, then this is where you're going to have the most impact.
In California Water, you'll find a vast array of long-term, well-paying careers with numerous opportunities to grow and make your mark, and new initiatives welcoming the next generation.
It makes me feel like I can make a real big difference.
If you think that this industry is a non-changing industry, that's exactly the reason why you have to get involved. That's why you have to come in to affect that change.
It's only going to become more important as years go on, too.
Why not be that person to take the water industry to the next level?
We're going to have to be more innovative, we're going to have to collaborate more, and we'll need a new generation to help us do that.
The impact that your service will bring to public service and to water in general will last for generations to come.
Mother's Day is coming, and Diane's Hallmark is just the place to get Mom a gift that shows how much you care. Our women's department has gifts for that special someone, including clothing, jewelry, Vera Bradley and Bagolini handbags, Crabtree and Evelyn, and many other great gifts for Mom. Don't forget that our religious department carries a great selection of Christian gifts and Bibles as well. Diane's Hallmark is a Gold Crown store. Come in and experience our personalized service. We're located on Alicia Parkway next to Hobby Lobby.
Welcome back. Well, I wanted to tell you a couple of things regarding our community here in regards to change. So there is new schedule for the coin exchange program beginning February 18th from Thursdays at 8 a.m. to 12 or until supplies run out. United Mutual residents can get those quarters the first and third Thursday at the Performing Arts Center, and then for Third Mutual residents, it would be the second and the fourth Thursday at Clubhouse 5. Now, residents are limited to two $10 rolls of quarters at a time. All right, and wanted to let you know about CVS. We have heard, and it has been announced, that CVS will now carry the vaccine. However, if you try now, they may not have them quite yet. So to find out when they are going to receive the vaccinations, please call 1-800-SHOP-CVS to schedule an appointment for when they have that in. And I wanted to let you know that coming up in March, the Alzheimer's Association is having an event, and they're going to be talking about keeping your brain fit. And if you would like to participate with that, you will send an email to sunshinelute@gmail.com, and that's for March 8th from 10 to 11. All right, let's take a look at our weather. It is looking quite nice. A little warm today, and then we're going to start cooling off as the weekend comes upon us. Today we're looking at 75-48, tomorrow 70-53, Thursday 69-49, Friday 71-46, and then Saturday we're looking at 67-53. Have a great day in the village. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. and you can watch us again today at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. With us today is Dr. Christine Chung of 7-Day Dental. She has great news for seniors. Doctor, why don't you tell us the exciting news?
Mom. We know there are many seniors living with tooth pain. 7-Day Dental is starting a new program called Seniors First. Seniors who are 65 years or older will get initial free exams and x-rays.
That is so nice, Doctor. Call your nearest 7-Day Dental to get your 7-Day Dental smile.